against the fence. There's been stuff dumped, pallets and wood and stuff been dumped out back. So for about $8,000, we got the money this year. We could install that this year. So I looked into alternatives of burning the pile on a second load. I called Northfield, Cannon Falls, City of Redmond, they all have their piles chipped. But we're too far away for free chipping. So it's about a $4,000 mold fee for them to come down to us. And they want 300 yards of chips for them to do it. So that equates to a brush pile the size of 2 3-bedroom houses. That would take every square inch we got. So I'm still looking into alternatives.
And there's no alternate places where we could have a brush pile within Kenyon.
Well, because if you went back into the field, you too like the equipment back there. To buy a chipper to handle this, you're looking at $150,000 to $500,000.
Wayne, can I ask a question quick too? With the new camera system, that could go wirelessly to our phones too, correct?
Yep.
So if there is some sort of activation out there, we could get a notification to our phones, so the officers working could see who's coming and going as well, so you could have a quicker response time to issues.
There was a lot of set points you could set up trip wires on the cameras, so if anything crossed this boundary, it would trip and start taking video or pictures on it set up. There's different modes. If something was left out there for a while, and the cameras sense that there's something different or something new has been added, it'll take a picture.
How many man hours are spent maintaining the fire back there?
It varies from time to time, like spring cleanup or after a storm, there's quite a bit.
Good.
What I'm really slowed down.
What I'm thinking, so the chipper would be $4,000 a year, or $4,000 a
4,000 a year, but we have a minimum of, he wants 300 yards, so
Yeah.
it's 30 semi-loads of chips that come out of there. Otherwise, he will not come down.
How many semi-loads?
30.
What do we get in a normal year?
We burn it from time to time.
Yeah. Because what I'm thinking,
that pile, I know, over the period of time, I know he won't get 30
Well,
in a year's time.
because he says they actually send a guy down to verify the pile before they even think about coming.
Yeah, that'd be a huge pile.
Yeah, I mean, a big pile.
Yeah, that would be like a mountain,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure how that would work.
When you mentioned about last month when this came up, about possibly doing it every 3 months or something like that, you know, to give
We
people
kind of put
a
ideas
heads
out
up
to
on it.
try to burn it before the heat of the summer, so the people's windows are still closed, and doing more due diligence on watching the wind. I mean, this last time the wind changed, started coming out north, and we smoked out town, and I'm sorry for that, but when the wind changes at noon, it's too late.
so would that work to do more scheduled, you know, October, burn some January, burn again in?
Usually I like to take off before the snow flies, because I'm losing places to dump snow.
Sure.
And then last February, I ran out of room. We filled that whole backyard up with snow.
Could you, if you started burning, if you did spot burning during the summer, would you know, because our predominant winds are out of the southwest, so
Yeah.
it's all, you know, there, so many times it's not even a problem.
Yeah.
So if you spot burn when, you know, judging the weather forecast and they happen to be right, and then doing some of the spot burning less frequently during the summer, and then really went at it, say, beginning October 1st, would that give you enough time to get it
Yeah.
all done before?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just the way the seasons come this year with the storms and
Yep.
whatnot.
It was
They
a-
just the brush pile got big.
I know from the traffic by my house, it was definitely a abnormal year. There are a lot of trees that came down. So I think that probably is a plan that we can at least start with and see, we put some security up there and go after the people who are using it as a junkyard, which is never intended to be, and get them. And then if we can do, a little more, be a little more conscious on the burning piece of it, we can try that and see where it goes.
Question that I have then is, how is that gonna be enforced?
I think it would be, if we could flag the person dumping garbage.
Yeah,
It'd
so-
be a littering ticket.
Yeah, so just off the top of my head, we've got ordinances against dumping and so forth. So we get a notification on our phone, we show up, we see they're dumping something illegal, we could then take enforcement action if needed. I mean, they could say, of course, there's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, I'm sure, because someone's gonna say, I didn't know, I was asked to bring this because I'm subcontracted out, whatever, then you need to pick it up and move it. That's one option, it's your stuff, move it. Or we can look at citing them, et cetera. But it's signed well, I mean,
It's like
Public-
fresh leaves and grass only.
yeah, Public Works has done a very good job of signing this up and making the piles individual. It doesn't really take, a lot of skill to look at this and go, this is where this could go, this is where this could go, this is where this could go. But I'm excited for the cameras. I really think that's just a nice thing to have anyways. We do have some other property back there that I really would like to know that what's going on back there as well. So people dumping things they shouldn't and some of the other traffic that goes back there, it'd be kind of nice to see where things are going, so.
Lee, the way the law is written, do you have to catch them in the act?
No.
Or if they're caught on camera and you follow them to their house, you can,
Correct. It's the
Okay.
same thing as a gas drive-off. If you do a fuel and go from the local gas station, they call me and they say, here's a video of it, we then can do the enforcement action afterwards.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's fine. I think the thing we're gonna run into is people saying, I didn't know. And we'll say, well, you can go to court, tell that to the judge, and if he believes you, fine. If he dismisses it, fine. We don't have a say in that, but we could certainly issue citations. I look at it as when we had one of the local businesses in town that added cameras, and they were getting all kinds of thefts. Once the cameras went in, we wrote a bunch of tickets, then the thefts went down, and I don't think he's had an issue since. So we're gonna have that learning curve through the process, but I think it'd be nice for Wayne to see what's coming and going as well as for us at the PD level. So, and I think for the $8,000, it's certainly a good spot to start. So,
Did they give you a time, installation time, or anything of the sort? You have some of it, you gotta dig in the trenches and that too for electrical, is that
Yeah,
correct?
Randy and I have been working together on this. We have to run conduit from the corner of our shop to the corner of their shop. And then there's a pole out back. We have to run conduit from their shop back to that pole. We have to have that in place before they can install the
Yeah,
hardware.
that's the way it's stated. Have you got an idea?
Randy just located some conduit, because it comes on a 4,000-foot roll. So we want to buy 4,000 feet of conduit. I think AA Underground in Casson, they have a roll of it, we can buy, we can go get it, install it, and buy what we use. We just gotta get time freed up to get it done.
So you get that part of it done, and then the security people will come in. Did they give you, let's say we'll have it in, after you're completed with your part, maybe 30 days, 60 days?
I never even asked them
Oh, okay.
how long it would take, if it's a couple day deal, or I didn't ask them about scheduling. I was just kind of getting a number thrown together to give to you guys.
What is the cost of the fencing going around?
I have no clue exactly, but I priced out fencing for fixing some fence at the sewer plant, and a gate alone could be $7,000.
So the fencing isn't gonna be cheap.
No, fencing would be super expensive.
We're not sure that's the best way to go, because people are still gonna dump stuff if you have fencing. And the idea is to have this available to the residents, basically nights and weekends when they would need to bring stuff out there, brush. So the fencing, my experience with fencing has been pretty mixed in other communities. So.
It would actually be worse for the neighbors up there if you had limited hours, because then you have all, I mean,
Yeah.
then it's just packed up there with, it turns into a zoo. At least now it's spread out. You have some people going up at 7:30 at night and some people going up at 9:30 in the morning, so, yeah, I personally, I like the security cameras, not only just for the enforcement piece, but just because we have city property up there with a lot of equipment, that it's good to just have some, some enforcement presence up there, just for, so, we know what's going on and just to protect our city resources up there.
You put up signage, won't you, that there are cameras? I suggest that,
I think it probably comes with the system.
make
Yeah, we would
people
put signs
well
up.
aware that they are being recorded.
The other fencing concern was there's so many avenues to get in, we weren't sure how to locate the fence. And then we're talking about how snow removal would happen. And at first, we kind of talked about if we fenced across the buildings, straight across, and just had a big massive gate that we can open up, because we have utilities have to have access to their stuff, and we have to have access to ours. But the problem with having a gate, or shutting down our gate here, Sandstone still owns property behind us, they still need access to it too.
Yeah. Well, what happens, you put a gate up, they'll dump everything in front of the gate, so you'll wind up having to move it.
Yeah, that was our fear.
No, I really am not in favor of a gate either, of any kind of a fence, for right now at least, maybe somewhere in the future, but I certainly would be interested in the cameras.
Okay.
So,
Yep, I'll move approval for Wayne to go forward with adding the security cameras up there. And we can start with that, and I think with just, trying some different approaches to having more controlled burns at more optimal times of the year, we can start there, and it gives us a start, we can see how it turns out. But I'll move approval that we go ahead with the security cameras.
I'll second it.
okay. Motion has been made and second for security cameras, and also we'll just throw in that there will be, try to work at different times of the year for burning. We'll see how it works. Okay, all
Before I
in favor?
want to vote, I would like a question answered.
Okay.
And that was it looked into at all what it would cost to have a dumpster up there? If we don't have enough trash brush to make it worthwhile to have it chipped, I'm not crazy about burning it at all. If we don't have enough trash, then maybe we have a dumpster and fill the dumpster and have that pulled however often it takes. Any ideas?
If
I
you
mean,
fill a
could we
20-yard
do some
dumpster,
sort of a deal with one of our haulers that they would have a dumpster sitting up there for a week or however long it would take to fill it up?
I think we could fill a 20-yard dumpster with not chipped material, which it's so bulky and takes up too much space.
Yeah.
I believe it's $300 to dump a 20-yard dumpster, or just to get one. I think it was $300 for the Rose Fest dumpster, and then it'd be so much wasted space, and I don't know. Landfills wouldn't take,
I don't think the landfill would take the brush
they
anyway.
wouldn't take brush.
Well, you could take it to, say, Faribault and let them chip it up, put it in their pile, or whatever. And I would think that if you were doing a volume deal, you could get a discount on
You'd have
this
more,
dumpster is going to be sitting there for a year.
you'd have more money in dumpster fees and trucking.
I think you'd be surprised how much brush is taken up there.
Yeah.
Well,
Once you have the person to load the dumpster,
One
tree could fill
I have
one tree.
your housewife, your mom, you'd have to
So,
load it to
not
the front
enough
end
to-
loader,
Equal a house, but more than a dumpster.
I'm not sure how feasible
It's,
that
well,
would be.
it's a lot, yeah.
I mean, you could look at trying to truck it out of there too, but again, that's gonna be,
Well, I think it's not, I think what
what that contractor wanted was, what was it, 300?
300,
Yeah.
300 shredded yards of wood material.
300 shredded yards, yeah.
Yeah,
It was some, I can't remember the name of the company, it was out of St. Paul. And they service the metro area, they'd like to stay within 50 miles of where they are. I was on the phone with them, I Googled his address, and we're 53 miles away.
I was gonna say, we're 60, aren't we?
Well, we are still looking, so
That was
Yeah.
the first, that was.
it's not a closed thing here. We're still looking at options. We don't have what we feel is a real great option right now, but it's,
I would like to avoid the burning if at all possible.
looking at trying to control the burning, while we still look at other options, I think is a fair way to, look at it, this one. Because we're still gonna keep trying to, find better options.
Fine tune it as we go.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
okay.
we're gonna talk to other communities and we're still gonna keep looking.
You satisfied, Richard? With your?
Not 100%,
Okay,
enough so that I can go forward with the vote, but
okay. Well, we got a motion on the table, and it's been seconded about having cameras and working with Public Works Director at burning the pile for right now. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes win. Okay, moving right along here. Resolution 2019-28. Resolution adopting the 2020 primary budget and levy. Mark?
So the city, as we've talked about, is required to set a final maximum 2020 levy and preliminary budget by resolution. Once set, the levy cannot be increased, thus we call it the maximum levy. The preliminary maximum levy certification resolution has to be submitted to Goodhue County by the end of September. The final levy would then be adopted, has to be adopted by the end of December. The levy can be lowered between now and the end of the year, but not increased. We've, basically recommended a 6.6% city levy increase, maximum levy increase, as shown in the memo included in the packet. The final city levy, maybe that repeats itself, must also be certified to the county before the end of the year. So we've included a 6.6% maximum. As we've talked about, we'll try to look at ways to maybe lower that, somewhat between now and December. But I think the other thing that was talked about was possibly, going up a little bit higher to try to bump up, the cost of living from 1.5% to 2%. So I think if you went to 7.2, that would accomplish that. So that would be the only thing that I might throw back or bring up again. That was talked about during the budget work session. So.
personally, I'd like to see it stay at 6.6. Knowing that, yes, we can go down, but it tends to go up. That's my discussion.
Well, at the work session, I had brought up 7.2 just to give us a little wiggle room. But I'll go along with what the council feels.
Yeah, this is a hard one to look at, we got Red Ring project coming up in time to come, First Street. There's a lot of expenses for the people in the city of Kenyon. We don't know for sure yet what the county is gonna have. We are really, the whole thing is kind of up in the air, even with the state. So I'm looking at it too, that I would like to hold it down to a minimum or to a maximum of 6.6.
I concur.
Need a motion?
I'll make that motion that we stay at 6.6 for the levy. 6.6 increase for the levy. Although I'd like to see it go the other direction. You decrease, but that's not happening.
Motion has been made.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion has been made. and
Just a
second.
clarification, the total levy would be what's on here, the resolution is 1,012,640.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do it the short way and do it at 6.6. Is that okay?
That works
Is
for me.
everybody? All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes passed. Okay, getting on to,
Mark, or do we have to set the truth and taxation meeting? Because I have to submit that by the end of September.
Okay, yeah, we need to set a date for the truth and taxation, so we talked about the first Tuesday in December, which would be
December 3rd.
December 3rd at
3rd.
6:30? Okay, that's what it was the last 2 or 3 years, was that same date. It's before or after the township fire contract meeting, so it'd be at that same,
you know what day that is? The 3rd?
it's a Tuesday, December 3rd. I guess we need a motion for that too.
Do you want that put into the minutes, a motion on that?
Yeah.
Add it to it? Okay,
I'll make that motion then.
Second.
okay. It's also been added to it that there will be work session
Well, it's for the fire contract.
and a fire contract.
That's kind of a normal state mandated meeting.
And that will be December the 12th, or I'm sorry. 12, December the 3rd at 6:30. We don't need a motion on that, do we? We just add it to it?
Yeah, you should do a motion,
I
yeah.
think Richard made.
Yes.
Okay.
He seconded.
Okay, motion has been made and second. Have the work session on December the 3rd at 6:30. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes passed. Okay, getting on to appoint a person to vacant city council seat. This will be resolution 2019-30, appointing a council member. Anyone speak up?
Well, I was impressed with both, and I think both of them have a future career in local politics, and I'd encourage both to express their interest. I think at the moment, I'm leaning toward Tom Gard. I think I like just some of the commitment that he can give in terms of economic development and time that he can, put in to the city. I work full-time, and it's nice to have some folks that are on council that have a little bit freer of a schedule that can pick up some of the things. So but that being said, I strongly encourage Teresa to throw her hat in the ring for a council seat when one comes open. It's too bad she didn't last August when no one stepped forward. But I was impressed with both candidates.
Yeah, I agree. They both brought different perspectives that were good. I feel at this point, Tom has more experience in some areas, and I would agree that I hope Teresa continues to pursue the elected position.
And I am going the opposite direction. For reasons that I had mentioned before, I prefer Teresa not to in any way denigrate Tom. I think Teresa has things that could be brought to the council that are missing. It's up to you.
I'm on the hot seat, huh? Well, I'll tell you what, I looked at it from both of them too, and I have spent myself a lot of time personally looking at it from person, I know that when we raised the salary, we'll call it, for the council members, I know Mayor Mike Engel at that time preferred to have a lady and also possibly a minority. But I gotta say, at this particular time, going back and looking at the letter that Teresa had, she stated mayor. And I based my feelings on that, along with what the little bit that I do know about Tom. I'm gonna have to go in favor of Tom also. So, we need a motion.
I'll move resolution number 2019-30, with that the city council hereby appoints Tom Guard to fill the vacant council seat.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion has been made and second to appoint Tom Guard as a vacant city council seat. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Richard? We have to do a hand vote on it?
No, yeah, you got a 3-1 vote, that's,
3-1, okay.
you know who it is.
Tom Guard, you are new council member. Your hot seat's gonna be over there.
Don't fall off the edge.
Yeah. So the other item Dan talked to me about was the, committee appointments, but the EDA specifically. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about tonight, or...
Yeah, so the issue is, the EDA meets at 8 o'clock in the morning, and, which usually isn't, I can usually make that work, but it's complicated to make it work once school is in session for me, and, probably the thing that Tom talked most about, when we interviewed him was the focus on economic development.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that he can, instead of dividing my time, running down between classes, and, it seems like a good fit for him. And Mark had asked me to fill in, because Mayor Mike was on the Historic Preservation Committee, and he asked if I would fill in on that committee temporarily. So now I've got 2 committees, and if he has 0, to me, it seems like a perfect fit, that if it's okay with you, Mayor, that Tom could take my spot on the EDA and go through some of the questions and issues that he brought up when we interviewed him.
Well, that's one thing that I was gonna do a review on here, but I did have a question for you, Dan, would it work better for you in the evening?
It would, but it like I say, if if it works better for everybody else, and because I just kind of filled in on that committee, and if it works better for everybody else at 8, it might as well stay there. And if if our new council member has more flexibility in his schedule and can make that work, what I'm saying is I'm all in favor of passing on this appointment, to the new council member.
Tom,
Yes.
speak up.
Well,
You now have a voice.
I mean, I hate to see Dan leave the committee. He knows, fully up on what's going on.
I've only been on there for a couple months, so it's not,
Okay.
yeah, so it,
That'd be fine though. I mean, yeah, that's one of the biggest things I express interest in is how can I help get the city moving forward in economic development? So, yeah, I would enjoy that more than historic preservation committee per se. That's what it was.
which fits better with me, because I'm a history teacher,
And 8 AM is fine, or PM, whatever, I don't know who else is on
It's
that.
AM.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to go through with every council member, because I did look at it that We also have CAPA. We got the parks. There's various other ones that we need. And actually what I would like to see is, I'm not saying that everybody can be there every single meeting, but if somebody from the council shows up, it just means something to that organization. And you can always bring the input. You can bring it back here again. That's what I want to see, is more input from the city dealing with things that are working for the city. So if it's okay with you, Dan, then we will reappoint you, Tom, as on the EDA board, which will be Thursday morning, 8
We have a
o'clock,
special
this
meeting
Thursday.
Thursday morning. So did
There'll be a
they make a
special
motion?
meeting.
Day after tomorrow?
Yes.
You should probably make a motion then to appoint Tom as the council liaison, or one of the two council, I mean, mayor and council member by, bylaws and statute are on the EDA, but that he would be the, council rep, one of the council
The
reps.
only caveat that I have is a funeral on Thursday, and at between 10, viewings at 10 and funerals at 11. I
It'll be over with by then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
8
Derek will
o'clock,
keep it.
we'll run it. You got a good excuse.
8 to 9, if it's not out, that's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Okay, we need a motion then to release Dan on his
Please stand.
EDA board and appoint Tom Guard as the new member.
So move. Second.
Okay, motion been made and second, we won't repeat it, but all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye passes. Okay, the last one here is memorial bench in honor of Mayor Engel.
Yeah, the former mayor family has requested that a bench be installed in his honor. Both the bank, the Kenyon, and Central Minnesota Power Agency have agreed to pay for the cost of the bench in his honor. What we kind of would like to talk about, and we don't have to decide this tonight, but locations. The mayor's family has asked about putting a bench somewhere in front of City Hall or the library. After further review by Wayne and I and Michelle, I think there's concerns about putting it anywhere in that area in front of the library or the City Hall because of the ramps, the access, handicap access, and then also, cleaning the sidewalks, maintenance. So we would like to talk about some other locations, including Depot Park, possibly. And there's benches in Depot Park that needs to be replaced. Wayne, is that correct?
Yeah, there's two wood benches right alongside the pool fence. Right, they kind of split the park. If you get they're just wood benches, they're flat, there's no back on them, so you either sit and face the park or sit and face the pool. Now, they get used a lot by parents that are sitting in the shade watching the kids at swimming lessons and whatnot, but it'd be a good opportunity to replace a bench with a nice new bench in that area. Just out front, I was concerned with the snow removal equipment, but the sweeper wouldn't fit between the curb and the side, and with the ramps, that there's a bench out front, and then interrupting with handicapped access.
Last night at the Park and Rec, somebody brought up the idea of possibly a bench in the library.
Yeah, I talked to Michelle today about that. She's gonna look at that.
Okay.
She's not sure exactly what that might look like or where it would go, or, so, I think her concern too with that is that there's other people that have given, both money and time, and then a lot of, Mike spent a lot of time in the library, but there's people who've actually done, whether they're either, I don't say large donations, but they've done more to help the library. I mean, not that Mike didn't help, he was a big supporter of the library. People like John Cole, there were some other people she had brought up to me that, really don't have any kind of, thing up. So, I don't know, I'm not downplaying that, but I'm just saying there's that part of it too, that probably needs to be taken into account, that, we don't want to slight some of the other people, and, or something in the park might be, a good, location.
Well, and I think we just have to be careful about that. If we're allowing for a certain memorial type of situation, that it fits our needs and,
Right.
otherwise, so there do have to be some parameters there.
Yeah.
And otherwise it can, like you say, there are a lot of people that could want to do something, and it could end up getting in the way of our city works crew trying to do their job, and we don't want that either. So I recommend you continue to work between the family and Public Works and see if there's a great spot where everyone can win off of this.
Okay.
I remember 20 years ago, some of the benches on Second Street were wooden and had people's names dedicated on them for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Just because the person sat there every day.
And there's a lot of places, there's probably other places too, we can, people have ideas, they should let us know, maybe that would.
If I remember right, I think the benches that were donated in Trenton Park have plaques on them. There's 3 up there, and then 2 of them have a little plaque, little square plaque,
Yeah, I
They were
was-
donated by Photograph.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
that's kind of where I was thinking of, the bench is up there at the garden.
I think so.
Mike was, really after that, and I was just up there this week, or last week I should say, and there isn't a bench or anything up there in that particular area of the garden. Now, I know that it wouldn't be there permanently, but at least for some time, if we had it up there, I think his presence would be felt.
There's one right by the gate.
There's one where?
There's one bench right by the door to get into the garden.
There is.
There's
Okay.
3 benches up there total. 2 are across the street. One's 6 feet from the
By the
door
park.
of the gate.
Over there by the playground.
By the garden itself, there's one.
Okay. That's only a thought on it. I don't have any really particular, I just felt that way, that was something, extremely important to him. So,
Okay,
should we just let,
we'll continue to work on that, yep.
okay. Well, we don't have to do anything on that, okay. I guess we got schedule of upcoming meetings. KMU meeting is Wednesday, September the 18th at 6 p.m. City Council meeting is Tuesday, October the 8th at 7 p.m. And then Central Minnesota Municipal Power Agency annual meeting is Thursday, October the 10th at 4:30. Okay, that's scheduled. Any council and staff general comments?
Just one, Saturday will be the Kenyon Historical Society is holding our first ever Oktoberfest. The tasting glasses with the image of the Gunderson House came in. Pass it around, you can take a look. It's pretty cool. If anybody needs tickets, they're $10 and you get to keep that glass. And so if you're around on Saturday and you're looking for something to do, come on up to the Gunderson House. Our goal is, it's not a fundraiser, it's more of, we want to just use the house more and do more, make it more of a community gathering place. It's a great location, and so we're just trying something new to get people to come together. So that'll be this Saturday.
Tickets at the door?
What's that?
Tickets at the
You
door?
can get tickets from me right now, or you can get them at the door, and we do have a limited number of glasses, so if you buy a ticket now, you're guaranteed a glass.
What's the hours?
1 to 5.
Why not?
And Ray Sands will be playing the Ray Sands combo from 2 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom, for stepping up.
Thank you.
And I want to thank Teresa also. And it was good to see so many people for the hearing here tonight. And I think we should think about adjourning pretty quick because Joe is warning foam off his microphone.
Richard too.
Yeah, we don't want to break the record for the longest meeting, at least in the last 5 years.
Richard, anything?
Other than, I'm glad to see that we have a full complement now on the council. That's basically it.
Okay, well, for myself, I gotta just say, welcome aboard, Tom.
Mhm.
And Teresa, I do hope the best for you, and I hope that she throws her hat in the ring when it comes time for election. And also, guys, remember 9/11.
I think you took, or kind of said all my comments, I won't repeat them. I'd like to welcome Tom, and I've been talking to him, and I look forward to working with you, and also thank Teresa, and encourage her to run also in the next election. So, that's about all I have.
I just want to thank the council for the continued confidence you're showing us with the authorizations tonight for Red Wing Avenue and for the EDA properties. Certainly, Derek and I have enjoyed working with the city, and we look forward to working with you on these projects and bringing them to successful completion for you guys. And long meeting night.
Yeah, I'll keep it short since the engineers took all the time, but welcome down, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, it's easy money for you
Yeah,
tonight.
well,
It's a little rare for the engineer to outspeak the attorney, isn't it? The attorney's usually the windy ones.
Okay, we need a motion to adjourn. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And